Hey everyone, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night. Alright, we're going to day 12 of Heaven's Feel now, so let's see what's waiting for us here. Some bad things going down between Sakura's dream, God, we're hoping it's a dream, and whatever the hell Shinji's planning to do now. Not really looking forward to that. But I guess we'll deal with it as it happens. Overdose. Oh, that's a great chapter name. Morning. Slowly my mind... Uh-oh. Morning. Slowly, my mind wakes up and I sluggishly sit up. The clock reads after 8 o'clock. I'm late. Okay, I'm not exactly late since I'm not going to school, but I definitely overslept. I get up and change. While changing from my pajamas to my regular clothes, I'm forced to look at my left arm whether I like it or not. I try lifting my left arm during morning stretches. No problem here. I can lift it up to shoulder level exactly as I intend. It's improving day by day. I still can't feel anything through it, but at this rate by tomorrow it should.
何してるのシロ？もう朝ごはん終わっちゃったよ。
あれ? What the hell is going on? What, we blacking out? Ilya's in front of me. I meant to go to the living room, but I somehow ended up in the shed.
シロ、人の話聞いてる？私、こんなところで何をしてるのかって聞いてるんだけど。
ああ、聞いてる。おはよう、イリア。 今朝は妙なところで会うな。
My answer sounds absurd even to me. I must not be fully awake yet.
シロ、体の調子良くないの？
いや、そういうんじゃない。ただ寝ぼけてるだけなんで、ちょっと待ってくれ。
I shake my head. I'm still physically exhausted, but the drowsiness is gone.
これでよし。 さっきの話だけど、ここに用があったわけじゃないんだ。ちょっと寝ぼけて間違えただけ。
そっか。それじゃあ今に行こう。シロの朝ごはん、私が用意してあげるから。
Ilya cheerfully runs back into the yard. It's a clear day. The sky is a bright blue, washing away yesterday's gloom. I take a deep breath, filling my lungs with comfortably cool air.
イリア、今朝飯作るって言ったのか?
She did. The first thought that comes to my now operational mind is her last remark. Ilya's breakfast. I'm looking forward to it, but the notion makes me very uneasy. I can say with confidence that Ilya has never been in a kitchen before, much less picked up a chef's knife.
横にいて監督してやった方がいいんだよな。こういう場合。
I head towards the living room, feeling the prickly grass beneath my feet. I'm shocked again. Talk about sleepwalking. What was I thinking coming out here barefoot? I arrive in the living room almost 4 minutes later, after taking the time to clean the dirt off my feet. Oh, Sakura.
先輩だ。
I nearly bump into Sakura when I enter the living room.
おはよう、さくら。今朝は悪い。寝過ごしちまって気づいたら8時過ぎてた。
Sakura stares at me. I wonder if she didn't hear me.
さくら?
I reach out to her, thinking her fever might have come back, but...
おはようございます、先輩。
She greets me at full volume, making my concern unwarranted.
なんだ。 朝から元気いいな、さくら。その分じゃ、体の方も調子いいんだ。はい、
おかげさまでですね。調子はすごくいいです。先輩に元気を分けてもらいましたから。
Sakura speaks haltingly. I'm glad she's upbeat, but the fact that she doesn't look calm makes me worried too.
どうしたんだよ、さくら。なんか変だぞ。だいたい 俺が元気を分けたって何の話だ？
ですから、
your bedroom, she trails off. Sakura mumbles bashfully. Now I remember. How could I forget? Last night, I held Sakura. Or rather, she embraced me. Heat suddenly rises to my head. It instantly reaches boiling point, as if all my blood below my neck was pumped there.
Sakura, 昨日のあれは
Really happened, right? It wasn't a dream? Blushing in with an expression that seems to blame me somehow, she nods. Wow. Just when I thought my face couldn't get any hotter, it does. Meaning that last night, Shiro Emiya's rational mind labeled everything that happened as a dream and filed it away. Wait, not that!
Sakura, 昨日はごめん
I clumsily apologized to her, holding my dizzy head in my hand.
でも私は嬉しかったですよ先輩
Her shy smile is like a mortal blow to the heart. She got me. She's so lovely. I want to hug her again right now. If Ilya wasn't around and I didn't hear the TV on in the living room, I'd...
シロ朝ごはんできたよ
If Ilya hadn't chimed in right on cue, I might have charged straight into super mushy mode again.
そういうわけだから朝飯食べてくれこの話はまた後でな
I make a sharp turn like a robot and head for the living room. I desperately move my sluggish arms and legs, taking control of my mind and driving the desire into a corner of it.
はいシロ朝ごはん
Ilya thrusts a plate at me as soon as I enter the living room. Arranged on it are a black piece of toast, soft-looking sunny-side-up eggs, and a neatly cut tomato.
Thank you
I accept it, still feeling dizzy, take my usual place at the dining table and bite into the crunchy toast. The toast aside, she did a good job on the eggs. I wonder if she learned by watching, or if Sakura or Tosaka taught her. Anyway, I'd better give her full marks for this first attempt.
うまい
I keep chewing on the toast. Ilya watches me eat, looking neither proud nor ecstatic, just satisfied. I avoid saying that the toast has the texture of charcoal, wouldn't want to ruin the mood. Because it actually does taste good. Everyone has their own preferences. Some people happen to like their toast black and hard.
問題あるわよそんな焦げっちいの食べてると体壊すわよあんた
バカめ米にしろパンにしろこの焦げ目が美味しいんだ
ちょっとエミヤくん頭平気
だからうまいってあと乱暴でもいいらしいんだ
Shira's acting really weird today.
本格的に寝ぼけてるのねあのねそんなのんきなこと言ってる場合じゃないんだけど
Tosaka looks at the TV. It's on and playing the news. Am I having deja vu? The story they're talking about should have happened a long time ago. Suddenly, my sluggish mind kicks back into gear. I read the captions on the screen. Comas in Shinto. Last night, in the early dawn, people lost consciousness and didn't wake up. It's believed to have the same cause as the mass poisonings that happened recently, but something is different about them. They were affected in an area 50 meters wide. It had only happened within a single building or so before, but the radius of this latest incident was dramatically wider. But that isn't the problem. At the end of the news report, the number of victims is listed. 3 digits worth of people in the hospital. And people missing, too.
父さんこれ
そう行方不明者14名調べればもっと増えるだろうけどとりあえずは全体の10分の1ってことで落ち着きそうね完全に飲まれてしまった人間は
My mind freezes. Unconsciously.
分かったこれが造剣の仕業かあの影の仕業かは分からないけどどっちにしたって今までとは段違いの犠牲者が出たことに変わりはないこの分でいけば数日後には一区画丸ごと飲み込まれかねないわ
I squeeze my wrapped left arm tightly.
父さん行方不明になった人たちは
Dead? I confirm with her. Without saying anything, she looks away and nods.
話はここまでよ。シロの気持ちはわかるけど、罪悪感は後にして。いい？あいつらは私たちに手がないと思ってやりたい放題やり始めた。私たちを甘く見てるからこんな馬鹿げたことをしてるのよ。なら、舐められてる私たちが何をするべきか確認するまでもないでしょ。
Tosaka quietly stands up. Her destination is clear. Without beckoning me to come along, she's headed for the dojo.
で、単刀直入に聞くけど、腕の調子はどうなの、シロ。
Tosaka launches straight to business as soon as we enter the dojo.
そうだな。普通に動かせるぐらいにはなった。けど、そういう話をしているんじゃないよな、登坂は。
ええ、私が聞いているのはアーチャーの腕として理解できたかってことだけよ。
Ilya watches us both saying nothing. I can claim without a doubt that Tosaka has no idea what this arm really is. She doesn't know the terror it made me feel last night. She doesn't know that taking off the cloth will be the end of me. She doesn't know that merely exposing its skin, never mind using Archer's power, will destroy Shiro Emiya's body. I remember the sensation. Inescapable death. The claustrophobic feeling of being buried alive. Having my world, emptiness, painted over by something alien to me. And watching that world shrink as I meet a silent, absolute end. The mere taste of that memory makes the thought replay in my shuddering head. I can't use this arm. If I do, I'll die. My death will be all but certain without a miracle to save me.
どうなの？私の魔術刻印を移してから1日経ったんだから少しは手応えがあるはずよ。さあ答えて。あなたアーチャーの腕で何ができるかもう分かっているの？
Hold on. Tosaka is asking something completely different from what I'm thinking. Does she think I can use Archer's arm already?
それはアーチャーの腕を制御できるかって話じゃなくて、アーチャーの宝具が何であるかって話か、登坂。
そんなの当たり前でしょ。シロはアーチャーの腕を使ったらまずいんだから使わせるわけないじゃない。何？それとも使う気でいたっていうの？あんたは。
Tosaka's genuinely angry at me.
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだが、なんとなくそういう流れかなと。
そういう流れってどういう流れよ。まったく言っとくけど、どんな状況になろうとアーチャーの腕だけは使わせないからね。シローも私の許可なしで使おうなんて思わないで。そのアーチャーの代わりなんだから勝手に死なれたら困るじゃない。
I take it all back. Tosaka does now. After all, she's a far more skilled mage than I am. She knows better than I do what will happen to me if I start trying to use this arm.
それでどうなの？アーチャーの宝具が何であるか理解できた？
I don't know what Tosaka expects me to say, but...
もういい加減言ってあげればシロ。そんなのアーチャーの腕を移植された時から知ってるって。
ちょっと今の本当なのシロ？
まあ本当だと思う。アーチャーの宝具はあいつの投影魔術で武器を複製することだろう。
I'm not confident in my answer since it was just a hunch I had without any proof.
緊張して損した。要するにもうつながってるんだ、それと。それはそれで助かるけど、どうして黙ってたのよイリア。シロがアーチャーの投影魔術を知ってたのならいちいち確認取る必要なかったじゃない。
どうしても何も聞かれなかったから言わなかっただけよ。リンはシロに投影をさせたがっているんだから伝えるのはリンの役目でしょ。私が口出しすることじゃないわ。
何よその口ぶり。あなたあそこまで用意しておいてやめるって言うんじゃないでしょうね。
それはリンとシローが決めることでしょ。確かに宝石剣を複製できればリンの勝ちよ。だからこそ私も手を貸してあげたけど、それは私の義務だから手を貸しただけ。決してあなたの方針に賛同したからじゃないわ。
Based on what they're saying, it sounds like Tosaka wants me to project something.
いいかな。要するに何か複製したいものがあるのか、遠坂。
そうよ。シローにはあるものを複製してもらうわ。私たちだけじゃセイバーにもあの影にもかなわない。だからサーバントにとって代わるサーバント以上の魔術講師、霊体であるサーバントを打倒する概念武装を作り上げなくちゃいけないのよ。
概念武装？それって決められた事柄を実行するっていう固定化された魔術品のことだっけ？
ええ、物理的な衝撃で相手を打倒するのではなく、概念コンパクトしての重みで相手を打倒するアウトブレイカー。あなたにはその中での特殊なうちに伝わる探検を投影してもらうわ。目標はセイバーの宝具に対抗できるだけのものを作ること。バーサーカーを倒したセイバーの宝具は見たでしょ。単純な火力で言えばセイバーは他の追随を許さない。あの黒い影だってセイバーの宝具を受ければ跡形もないだろうし、私たちだってあんなものを振るわれたら防ぐこともかわすこともできない。けど逆に言えば急増ですぐ壊れる模造品でもセイバーの宝具を上回る剣さえ作れれば、あとは戦い方次第ってわけ。
It's a rational plan. If their biggest edge is Saber's noble phantasm, then we just need to have something stronger than it, making a better weapon than our enemies. That's one of the surest and most simple paths to victory. However,
どうかな。それだけの宝具を投影するなんてできないぞ、俺。あ、いや、そもそも投影魔術が成功したことなんて一度も。
ええ、私たちが知っている投影が成功したことなんて一度もないでしょうね。けどあなたの投影はそういうレベルの話じゃない。今まではやり方がわからなくて間違った方法で間違った投影を行っていただけ。けどアーチャーの知識があるならあとはそれをなぞるだけでいい。アーチャーという見本を知っている今のあなたなら投影は必ず成功する。
Tosaka says it with confidence. I'm afraid that I don't quite share it.
いい？前にも言ったけどあなたは強化じゃなくて投影の魔術使いなの。そのあなたがより上位の複製者であるアーチャーの魔術理論を踏めば本物と同じ能力を持つ複製品とまではいかないだろうけど、オリジナルに似た能力を持つ複製品を形取り、それ以外のフォローは私たちの役割よ。私とイリアは今あなたに投影してもらう武器の材料をできるだけオリジナルに沿うように用意してるわ。投影時の資料になる設計図はイリアがリーディングで解析中だし、本物に使われていた材料は私の方で用意してる。まだ準備に時間がかかるけど、これが揃ったらあとはシロー次第よ。シローが形だけでも大主婦のパスを複製してくれれば造剣と正面からぶつかっても勝機が見える。
Alright. Basically, they're going to supply me with a blueprint and materials that I'll use to build something. No complaints here. If we can use it to beat Zoken. I'm happy to go along with Tosaka's plan, except...
仮に俺がその武器を投影できるとするぞ。その場合材料はいらないだろう。オリジナルがあるならそれを見せてもらえれば、あとは材料なんて用意してないで今すぐ試してみればいい。
バカ、それができるなら2日前に試させてるわよ。
Right, the original doesn't exist anymore, I guess.
いい？今のシローじゃ投影はできて1回。それも必ずどこかにほころびができるイメージになる。それじゃあ意味ないでしょ。土蔵に転がっている出来損ないと同じ。形はそっくりでも中身がないっていう偽物を作られたらたまんないわ。
けど俺はその偽物しか作れないぞ。
だからそのフォローを私たちがしてるんじゃない。投影に必要な魔力と知識を補うためにできる限り本物に近い素材を作っておいて、あとはそれにあなたのイメージを重ねて固定化するってわけ。簡単な足し算よ。シローのイメージと私たちが用意した材料を足してより高い数値を求める。
まあアーチャーの腕で投影すれば材料や元になる設計図もいらないんだろうけど、そういうわけにもいかないでしょ。アーチャーの腕に頼らないで戦う武器を用意するって言ったらもうこの方法しかないのよ。
元からあるものを投影で強化するってことか。そうだな。それなら少しは。
A little more realistic, like an outcome I can manage with practice.
けど成功するかどうかわからないぞ。強化だってマスターになる前までまともに成功しなかったんだ。そんな離れ技ぶっつけ本番でできるとは思えない。
ああ、それは大丈夫。シロにはこれから投影の練習とアーチャーの知識の引き出しを猛特訓してもらうから。
そうか。俺もその方がいいんだけど、なんか嬉しそうだな、遠坂。
まさか。ここんところずっとエリアと積み木遊びしてたから、出来の悪い教え子とコミュニケーションするのもいいかなって思ってるだけよ。
I don't like how she's putting it. Oof. I shudder remembering the bizarre sensations I felt yesterday. It was an ordeal where Tosaka stripped me down, closed in on me, and jammed her finger inside me. That ended without incident, but if it's going to happen again today... I might get a good scolding from Sakura, who's resting in her room.
と、冗談は置いておいて、話は分かってくれた？それなら、最後の確認をしておきたいんだけど。
最後の確認？
この作戦でいいかってことよ。結局私たちはシローの投影に頼るしかない。アーチャーの腕は使わせないけど、それでもアーチャーから魔術を習う以上、シローの体にはアーチャーっていうサーバントの毒が混ざる。それでもシローはこの方針に従ってくれる？
いや、従うも何も造剣が倒せるなら文句はないぞ。魔術の鍛錬だって遠坂が指導してくれるなら頼もしいし。
はっきり言うわ。アーチャーの魔術を習うってことはアーチャーの腕の束縛を解くってことよ。つまりね、ここで投影の鍛錬をする間はその正外符を外せって言ってるのよ、私は。
My thoughts freeze in place. Take off the holy shroud. Just barely loosening it last night struck me with sheer terror, and I wound up shaking and sobbing. She wants me to unleash this poison again? My answer goes without saying. I nod.
ああ、それでどうにかなるんだ。
I scrounge up every bit of strength and grit, and
遠坂の方針に従う。この布外せばいいんだな。
I managed to make myself nod.
そう、やっぱりそうきたわけ。
なんだよ遠坂、今の答えじゃ不満か？
別にあんたに脅しなんて意味なかったって再確認したところ、正外符を外してもいいだなんてあっさり言うとは思わなかっただけで、答え自体には満足よ。
Tosaka huffs and turns away, clearly unhappy.
変だぞ遠坂。こっちが覚悟を決めてうなずいたっていうのに俺が悪いみたいじゃないか。
変なのは私の方よ。その答えを欲しがったのに、いざ言われたら頭にくるなんてどうかしてる。けどシロ、さっきも言ったけど、私はあなたにアーチャーの腕なんて使わせない。それは決して正外符を外させないってことよ。あなたの覚悟を試した私が言えることじゃないけど、二度と正外符を外すなんて言わないで。それを外すってことはもう戻れなくなるってことだから。
It's an earnest plea, not a warning. I squeeze my wrapped left arm. It's true that I don't want to take this off. But that means
アーチャーの魔術を習うってのはどうするんだ？布を解かないとあいつの魔術構成は引き出せないんじゃないのか？
もちろん。だからここは無理を承知で少しだけ正外符の工作を緩めてもらうわ。それなら封印を解いたことにならないし、アーチャーの腕からの反動も少なくできるでしょ。
そうだな。じゃあさっき遠坂が言った布を外せっていうのは？
ええ、少しだけ布を緩めろってことよ。けどそれだって大事だから、まず四郎の覚悟を試してみたってわけ。ともあれ、これはいつかやらなくちゃいけないことでもある。
Yeah.
四郎だっていつまでも布を巻いたままなんて嫌でしょ。せめて自分で巻き直せるぐらいできないとこの先やっていけないんだから。お風呂の問題とか何かの拍子で外れたりとか。
ああ、そうだな。それは確かに。
でしょ。だから今のうちにせめて布が緩まった程度の反動には耐えられるようになっておかないと。昨日の刻印はうまく馴染んでいるようだし、耐魔力だって上がっているし、意識の保護はイリアがやってくれるから、今なら5分ぐらいは OK なんじゃないかしら。
イリアが保護するって、イリアと2人でアーチャーの腕を押さえつけろってことか？
ちょっと違うよ。私が守るのはあくまで四郎の精神だけで、アーチャーからの逆流を我慢するのは四郎の役目。四郎はアーチャーの経験を引き出さなくちゃいけないんだから、防ぐんじゃなくて耐えなくちゃいけないでしょ。
I see. If Ilya blocks the magical energy flow from Archer's arm, I won't be able to learn his magecraft. Even if it's toxic to me, I can't learn what it contains unless I taste it myself.
わかった。じゃあ俺は布を緩めて、できるだけ左腕からの逆流に耐えればいいんだな。
ええ、その時は目を閉じて内側に意識を向けること。魔術回路を開く時と同じだから簡単でしょ。とにかくシローはアーチャーの投影技法を体験するだけでいい。身に染みさせるだけでいいんだから、間違っても理解しようだなんて思わないでね。ごめん、ちょっと席を外すわ。あとはよろしくね、イリア。すぐに戻るから、その間にシローを鍛えてあげてちょうだい。
And with that, Tosaka suddenly leaves the dojo. But not with any urgency.
どうしたんだあいつ。
さあ、何か忘れ物でもしたのよ、きっと。そんなことより四郎にはやることがあるでしょ。拘束を緩めるなんてバカな真似は反対だけど、四郎が約束したのなら手伝ってあげる。さあ、リンが戻ってくるまでに済ませましょう。
Ilya goes behind me and places a cool hand on my back.
エリア？
いいから目をつぶって、四郎が一番得意な瞑想して。魔術回路が開いたら、こっちで四郎の意識をプロテクトして正外符の拘束を緩めるわ。タイミングはこっちで測るから、四郎は流れてくる魔力に耐えてるだけでいい。けどくれぐれも死ぬ気で耐えて。左腕からの反動で四郎は間違いなく飲み込まれるから。
I nod and slowly close my eyes. Quickly and quietly, I still my mind and create different nerves inside my body. In just a few days, it's become much easier to create my pseudo-nerves. Then, just as I complete the line of light running down my back,
余計な忠告をするね、シロ。リンが知ってるのは英霊の腕を移植された人間の痛みだけよ。だからリンはこれがどういうことになるか分かってない。けどそれも仕方ないわ。だってシロとアーチャーの関係を知っているのはこの世で私だけなんだから。
Ilya says something strange in a voice I can't quite hear. Oh, interlude.
さて、
The two sisters leave the dojo and enter the yard.
どういうつもり、さくら。体が悪いんだからおとなしく部屋で休んでいるんじゃなかったの？
Rin Tosaka looks down on the girl with an icy glare rather than concern. Sakura Mato uneasily drops her gaze. Neither of them exchange any words. Rin sternly scolds Sakura for poking her nose where it doesn't belong, while Sakura can't find the will to say anything due to her feelings of indebtedness and inferiority.
さくら、エミヤくんが心配になって見に来たのなら戻りなさい。それだけの理由なら私も見なかったことにしてあげるから。
Sakura trembles slightly. The older sister's rebuke is severe. She knows full well how insecure and gloomy Sakura is, even as she drives at her.
違います、姉さん。私はただ。
Even as she feels pressured by Rin, Sakura works up her resolve to stand up to the big sister, whom she looks up to so much. However,
説明は不要よ。私は部屋に戻れって言っているの。ここで何を言われようが、あなたを道場に入れることだけはしないから。
Rin cuts her off mid-sentence.
そんな中に入れないってどうしてですか？
どうしても何もないわ。マスターとして行動するとき、私たちにとってあなたは敵でしかないだけ。いい？さくら。戦闘に参加せずライダーでこの家を守ろうが、あなたが造剣の手駒であることに変わりはないの。そんな相手の前で鍛錬なんてできるわけないでしょ。
All Sakura can do is stand there and take the cold lecture. Rin genuinely believes what she says. Unlike Shiro, she's constantly on guard against Zoken's next move. Or perhaps, she's absolutely sure that Sakura will turn on them. Sakura bites her lip in frustration. As Rin says, they don't know when Zoken will take action. With each passing day, her body becomes harder to control, and her memories more scattered. Even her sleep is plagued with nightmares and no longer the peaceful respite it once was. She could indeed lose her mind at any moment.
そういうこと。何よりそんな魔力不足の体でうろつかれちゃ迷惑よ。今のあなたはいつ倒れるかわからない。まあ今は落ち着いているようだから倒れたりしないだろうけど、無理をすればするほどエミヤくんが心配するわ。そうなれば彼、今以上に追い詰められるわよ。それはあなたも望むところじゃないでしょ、さくら。
Rin's logic is completely sound. Frustrated by her own powerlessness, Sakura stares at the ground again.
分かってくれた？なら早く戻りなさい。お昼になったら呼びに行くから、それまでちゃんと休んでること。
She nods meekly. Rin turns her back on her little sister. The gesture seems to declare that Sakura Mato is a nuisance.
待ってください、姉さん。
何？まだ何かあるの、さくら。
はい。姉さんの話は分かりました。私も部屋には戻ります。けど、ちゃんと聞かせてください。姉さんは先輩に何をさせる気なんですか？姉さん、先輩はもう戦えないって分かってるんでしょ？なのに今日も先輩を呼び出して、これ以上何をさせようって言うんです。
Rin stops in her tracks.
何って魔術講座よ。このままじゃ造剣にもセーバーにもあの黒い影にも勝てないでしょ。だからシローにはアーチャーの腕から魔術を引き出してもらう。アーチャーの腕は経験値の塊だからね。正外符の拘束を緩めれば、シローが眠っていても一方的に経験値が流れ込んでいって強引にレベルアップさせられるでしょ。
Sakura's a mage too, so she understands how reckless of an idea that is. What her sister is trying to do to Shiro is nothing but torture, like trying to force 100 liters of fuel into his 10-liter tank. Of course, the excess gasoline is bound to spill out, and even if they pour 10,000 points of experience into him, he can only retain 10. It will only cause him suffering. All Shiro will gain is less than a tenth of the agony he's forced to taste. And more importantly, a normal mind could never endure such an experience. If a mud doll faces a tidal wave, it will be washed away without a trace. That's what it means to loosen the holy shroud.
無茶です。そんなことを続けたら先輩の体が持たない。それだけじゃない。先輩は姉さんを信じています。信じてるからそんな無茶なことだって受け入れる。けどそんなことをしていたら結局最後には姉さんの一言であの布だって外してしまうに決まってます。
さくら。
She doesn't look down this time. Sakura glares defiantly at her sister, her ideal.
そうね。けどさくら、私が言わなくてもあいつは自分から正外符を外してたわ。さっき話しててそれが分かっちゃった。ほんとどうかしてるわ。私がどんな風に忠告してもね、きっと最後には何でもないことみたいに外しちゃうのよ、あいつ。
姉さん。
そう、それが分かるからそんなことをしなくてもいい方法を提示するしかなかった。外さなくてもなんとかなるって知っていればあいつだってギリギリまで我慢するでしょ。だから私の役目はそのギリギリのうちに戦う道具を作らせること。それが終わればシローを休ませる。閉じ込めてでもおとなしくさせて聖杯戦争が終わるまで戦わせないわ。
Her sister is telling the truth. Rin Tosaka is being as considerate as she can. But that's only within her own heart. Sakura is the heir to an equally old lineage, so she knows her sister has other priorities.
姉さん。姉さんが先輩を案じてくれているのは分かります。けれど姉さんはそれだけです。もし今の方法でおじい様を倒せないと分かればあなたは遠坂の魔術師ですから。勝つため魔術師としての規律を守るためなら姉さんは先輩を道具として使う人間です。
It's not a question, just a statement of fact. The Tosaka heiress closes her eyes.
ええ、今の方法が失敗してゾウケンとあの影が昨夜のような強行を繰り返すならシロにはアーチャーの腕を使ってもらう。彼一人の命で済むのなら当然でしょう。
She lays it out boldly.
そんなの勝手です。先輩は初めから聖杯なんて欲しがっていなかった。ラストになったのだって偶然じゃないですか。ならもうこれ以上無理やり戦わせるなんて間違ってます。
Oh, shit.
何か勘違いしてるみたいね、さくら。いい？私はシロに無理強いなんてしていないし、そもそも本当ならシロに発言権はないの。シロは私のアーチャーから腕をもらって一命を取り留めた。その後もあの腕に耐えながら受け入れている。ならその時点であいつの命は私のものでしょ。シロにあの腕がある限りあいつは私のアーチャーなの。わかる？この戦いが終わるまでシロは私の使い魔ってこと。さくらに口出しされる言われはないわ。私はあいつが戦いを望む以上全力で力を貸してもらうだけなんだから。
She can't come up with a retort. Awed by her sister's confidence, the girl stands there unable to say anything in reply.
話はそれだけ？じゃあ部屋に戻りなさい。ここにいられたら迷惑だって言ったでしょ。
Rin Tosaka turns and goes back to the dojo. The girl watches her go as if gazing at a distant landscape. This yard that should be so familiar to her seems huge. She feels like there's nothing in it and nothing she can reach for. In the midst of her loneliness.
そう。先輩まで取っていってしまうの。姉さん。
She whispers in an empty voice. Then, I find Tosaka's face right in front of mine. I wonder when she came back.
あれ、何やってんだ、遠坂。
Hmm? Uh-oh.
なんでしょうね。様子じゃないの？
それよりお昼は凛とさくらの方が。
That's weird. What are they whispering about right in front of me?
遠坂、イリア。
I can't raise my voice. Something must be wrong with my throat.
せーの。おい、何話してるんだ、二人とも。
They suddenly stop whispering. Oh, my voice is back. Seems like yelling helped clear up my throat.
何よ、さっきまでは私の味付けも新鮮だとか言ってたくせに。シロ、辛いの苦手ってこと？
凛のは辛いんじゃなくてしびれるのよ。もうお昼はさくらに任せるって決まったんだから、いい加減諦めなさいよね。シロだってさくらのシチューがいいって言ったんだから。
Apparently, we're talking about lunch.
あのな、今はそんな場合じゃな。
The time, I almost say. I look at the clock and see that it's almost noon. Something nags at me. Nothing's particularly wrong, but I feel a strange chill in the familiar dojo. Because it was just after 9 o'clock when Tosaka left. Knowledge I don't know in my head. Why are we talking about food? What the fuck is this new data we just got? Servant data. Was it Archer? I guess not. This is weapon data. Oh, all this stuff. Okay. I joined the conversation. Speaking of which, what details of every weapon are already in my head? Ilya's worried. That white-hot pain in my arm. 40, then 26 times. Memories disappear, and then I'm back to normal. I tap a finger on my forehead. I'm okay. Anyway, the dizziness is going away.
シロ、どうしたの？イリアと商店街まで買い物に行くんでしょ？
I searched my memory. I frowned for a bit before remembering that I did say I'd go shopping with Ilya.
あ、じゃあ行こうか、イリア。
I shake my head and start walking.
ちょっと、なんか変よあなた。生涯符を戻した時は元気だったけど、今になって疲れが出たとか？
ああ、そうだな。確かに少し混乱してる。けど、まあ大したことないぞ、こんなの。
It's nothing compared to the pain I felt last night. I'm in good physical condition. I got a little dizzy for a second there, but it doesn't pose a problem at all. I take Ilya outside. I can't afford to go out shopping frequently anymore, so we'll have to stock up for about 3 days at a time.
それじゃ派手に買い込むか。イリアは何がいい？差し当たっては昼飯のメニューだけど。
あれ、お昼はシチューじゃないの？シロ、さっきそう言ってたけど。
ああ、そうだった。まあ決まってるならはっきりしてていい。さくらのシチューって言ったらホワイトだから鶏肉を見に行こう。
We head to the butcher shop I usually visit. We're going to stock up for 3 days, in any case. I can't waste money, so I need to maximize value and quality. We spend a brisk 30 minutes shopping.
いっぱい買ったね、シロ。
Ilya looked bored while we were shopping, but she seemed to enjoy herself once I gave her some bags to hold.
悪い、買いすぎた。イリア、そっち重くないか？こっちの袋のが軽いから取り替えよう。
I hand her the lightest grocery bag out of the 7 I'm holding.
重くないから大丈夫。それよりもう一個も取った。シロ、いっぱい袋下げててブドウみたいだよ。
いや、俺も平気なんだけど、ブドウってのはまたすごい例えだな。
本当は風船持ったピエロみたいだけど、ブドウの方も可愛いでしょ。
You don't have to call me a clown to my face, Ilya. Ilya runs through the street, talking happily.
待てってばイリア。重くはないけど走るのはさすがにきついんだって。
Rather than the weight, I'm afraid that the eggs and tofu in the bags might get crushed. I sigh and fast walk after Ilya. This is the greatest concession I can give as the designated grocery shopper. And so I follow Ilya, making a lot of noise as I hold my groceries carefully. That seems to tickle Ilya, and she... looks like she's having a lot of fun. Once we leave the shopping district and arrive at the intersection, Ilya stops and turns to me. Ilya starts singing, supermarket grocery bags in hand. The melody sounds familiar, like I might have heard it in school when I was a child. I'm walking next to Ilya, so I don't know what face she's making. I have no way of telling what expression she's singing with, or how she feels as she walks home. It's a nostalgic melody. The tune is simple and gentle, yet lonely. I'm sure that Ilya is happy. Otherwise, she wouldn't be singing on the way home. On the other hand, I can't help but think... maybe Ilya sings to herself a lot. With no one to talk to and no father waiting to greet her at home, perhaps it's the only way she can express herself when no one else is around. At the edge of the road, I look up at the tall, curved traffic mirror. It reflects me holding a lot of bags, and a girl singing with her eyes closed, as if in a dream. There's nothing else to say. We're just a brother and sister on the way home after buying groceries. The sight is so natural, so ordinary, that I can't help but imagine how wonderful it would be to see Kiritsugu there, in between the boy with the groceries and the lively little girl.
イリア。
I hold my breath.
お、何シロ。
She innocently turns around. She must be hiding how she really feels. Ilya's shutting off her own feelings. Ever since Archer disappeared, she's become sullen at times. That's how we can have moments like this. Because if she doesn't hide how she really feels, then she can't smile. That goes for me too. I've known it all along, but I kept putting off thinking about it. Turning away from what needs to be said. Ilya let things be this way, so I joined in on the lie.
シロ。
Ilya must have given up. She stopped pursuing it and decided to keep us company at our end. That's okay. If Ilya's happy with our current relationship and willing to ignore it all, then it'll end without her losing anyone else. But still.
イリア。この戦いが終わった後、もし帰るところがないんなら。
I'm crazy. I'm saying something that doesn't need to be said. But I have to say it while I still can. I'm going crazy. That's all the more reason.
イリア、このままうちで暮らさないか。
I need to say it now properly before I completely lose my mind. She stops. With a flat voice, Ilya asks,
それはキリツグの息子として。
She watches me quietly. Kiritsugu's son. What Kiritsugu couldn't do, what he left behind. I must carry on that responsibility as his son, even if we weren't related by blood. I have to settle things with this girl, not because Shiro Emiya wants it, but because Kiritsugu's son owes it to her. That's what Ilya is asking me. Yeah. And my answer is, of course.
ああ、俺は親父の息子でイリアが好きだ。一緒に暮らしたい理由はそれだけだ。
本気？シロウがキリツグの代わりをするの？
いや、俺じゃキリツグにはなれないし、キリツグの代わりもできない。俺とキリツグは別の人間だ。けど、俺は親父が好きだ。親父にできなかったことを果たしてやりたい。だから、イリアがキリツグを憎む心の中に、少しでも許してやってもいいって気持ちがあるんなら、俺はイリアと一緒に暮らしたい。今までできなかった分、これから取り返していくのはダメか。今のままでいいからイリアと一緒に暮らしちゃいけないのか。
She doesn't answer. Ilya looks down for a while, then slightly shakes her head.
それは無理だよ。私は長生きできないし、シロウも長生きなんてできない。だから一緒に暮らすなんてできないわ。
She rejects me with a smile like a pretty flower.
長生きできない。
そんなこともう分かってるでしょ。知って。どっちかがどっちかを犠牲にすれば少しは生きられるかもしれないけど、二人一緒は無理だと思う。この戦いが終わっほら、だからできないの。シロウがいないエミヤの家には私の居場所はないんだから。
Ilya's words are filled with certainty. The silver-haired girl describes a grim future like a prophet.
でもちょっと残念かな。今の言葉もうちょっと早く言ってくれたらよかったのに。そうしたらそうしたらほんの少しだけ運命は変わっていたかもしれないから。
You know, I'm kind of noticing that seems to be the recurring theme on this path. If only things had been different earlier. You can't go and change the past. You just have to live with the consequences into the future. I don't understand what she's saying. Not her declaration that one of us has to die, or how she can say it all with a smile.
バカ言うな。そんなことにはならない。ゾウケンがイリアを狙っていようと、その前に俺たちでゾウケンを倒す。イリアだってそのために遠坂に協力してくれてるんだろ。
そうね。けどそれが問題なの。これはリンには黙っていてね、シロ。宝石圏の投影、遠坂の遺産を複製することはリンの方法じゃできないの。
The only way to do it is to unshroud Archer's arm, right?
だってシロウの投影は投影魔術じゃないんだもの。普通の投影魔術ならある程度オリジナルに似せたものに投影を重ねて補強することはできるけど、シロウの投影は違うわ。シロウは1から10まで全部を自分のイメージで作らないと形にできない。だってあなたの魔術は投影じゃなくて自分の心を具現化するものなんだから。
イリア、どうして？
How does she know that Archer's magecraft is a manifestation of his mind's shape?
だから無理なの。リンが必要としているものを作るにはシロウはアーチャーの腕を使うしかない。さっきみたいな一時的な記憶の欠損なんかじゃ済まされない。 一度でも使えばシローはもうシローでいられなくなる。シローは自分のこと、さくらのこと、私のことでいっぱいいっぱいでちょっと混乱してるんだよ。だから今の誘いは忘れてあげる。シローだって分かってるでしょ。全部を選ぶことはできない。助けられるのは一人だけなんだって。
Ilya turns away and starts up the hill. The nostalgic tune is gone. Ilya's words linger in my ears. A shrill noise comes from the kitchen. It's the fourth time tonight I've heard that unpleasant sound.
ごめんなさい。大丈夫ですから。
I hear Sakura's voice in the kitchen. Tosaka just frowns. She seems tired of warning Sakura by now. It's shortly before 6 o'clock. Sakura asked us to let her make dinner to close out the day. She chased me and Tosaka out of the kitchen, so we've just been waiting around for her to finish making dinner. Another plate or bowl breaks. It's the sound of Sakura's failure that we've gotten used to hearing for the last half of today. Let's rewind to noon. Sakura couldn't make stew after Ilya and I went out for groceries. She was waiting for us when we got home, but she clearly wasn't feeling well.
大丈夫です。確かに熱っぽいけど、お昼ご飯ぐらい作れます。
And it's true, she could have cooked us lunch. But we weren't going to make her push herself when she was clearly suffering from a fever. By the time Tosaka and I convinced Sakura to take a nap, it was already past 2 in the afternoon. Before she did, she insisted,
じゃあ、熱が下がっていれば、お台所に立っていいんですよね。
and went off to bed. Then came evening. I'm not sure when my training ended, but when I finished and went back to the living room, Sakura was already starting to cook dinner.
お疲れ様です、先輩。待っててください。すぐお夕飯にしますから。
And then she cheerfully went back to her cooking. I could tell with a single glance that she was putting on a strong front. You're tired, so go rest. I said that Tosaka and I would make dinner, but Sakura refused to back down.
もう、先輩も姉さんも、あんまり過保護にしないでください。私だってマスターです。これぐらい、戦うことに比べたらなんてことないんだから。
She stubbornly refused to back down no matter what we said. On top of that, she refused to let us help, especially Tosaka. Tosaka reacted with more surprise than I expected.
だって、姉さんは先輩を鍛えてくれているでしょ。なら、私だって役立たずじゃいられません。私も姉さんみたいに何かの役に立ちたい。 それに、これは私が今まで受け持ってきた役割だから、これだけはずっと私が受け持っていたいんです。
It sounds like this is something that Sakura just can't give up. I can only imagine how defeating it must feel to stop doing something she's done routinely every day, no matter how hard it is to move her body. Fine, take care of dinner, Sakura. Tosaka got irritated and started to criticize me. But that only made Sakura say,
はい、頑張ります、先輩。
It was hard to be negative in front of that much enthusiasm.
はい、長らくお待たせしました。
Her bright voice reaches the dining table. Sakura confidently sets plate after plate on the table.
お、炊き込みご飯。手が込んでるな、さくら。
はい、先輩がいいアサリとエビを手に入れてきてくれたので、今夜は海鮮でまとめてみました。ご飯は りの炊き込み、エビは包み蒸しにして、イカはエスニック風に仕上げて、とどめにイリアちゃん対策でハンバーグまで完備したのです。
She puffs up her chest proudly. The dishes she's laid out on the table do show brilliance unlike anything she's made so far, so she must have put her heart into making them. The secret ingredient is effort. Clap, 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 clap. We other three diners applaud the display.
一時はどうなるものかと思ったけど、我慢した分の見返りはありそうね。じゃ、ありがたくいただきます。
私も遠慮なくいただくわ。シロ、そっちのフォークちょうだい。
はいよ。じゃあそれじゃ俺も失礼していただきま。
はい、おかわりありますからいっぱい食べてくださいね。
I make a quiet bow and pick up a steamed dumpling with my chopsticks. At a glance, the round, bite-sized dumplings resemble siumai. They're beautifully formed and accompanied by an exquisite balance of spring onions, ginger, and daikon sprouts. I was uneasy letting Sakura cook for 4 people, but I can't complain now that my chopsticks stopped moving. All 3 of our expressions must have frozen for an instant. We pretend not to notice and quietly keep eating. We have to keep eating. The colorful dishes taste inconsistent. They don't taste bad, per se. They just each seem to lack a subtle flavor or taste off balance. The silence is uncomfortable. We keep quietly eating, not quite looking at each other. Still, it's impossible to play it off. Sakura cooked this. She'll realize it tastes wrong as soon as she eats it. Our silence is just a prelude to that discovery. I look up at Sakura. She should have realized it by now. Yeah, she's sitting there in shock. And she hasn't taken a single bite. I try to watch her inconspicuously so that she doesn't notice. I wonder what's wrong. Sakura's looking down at her rice bowl and chopsticks with a troubled expression. She hesitates, then resolves herself to reach for her chopsticks. But then she drops them with a clatter. She hastily picks them up again and tries to gloss over it by picking up her rice bowl, too. I can't directly watch her doing it. Sakura repeats the effort several times. She clumsily moves her fingers and warily picks up the food with her chopsticks, only to drop it each time and try again. It's more than just difficulty controlling her fingers. Her awkward movements look like that of someone who knew how to use chopsticks until a few seconds ago, but forgot when she picked them up. We're not looking. It's a slip-up that anyone would notice right away, but we don't see it. I tell myself it's just dinner as usual, even as she fails over and over. She awkwardly manipulates her chopsticks onto the food, finally manages to eat one bite, forgets how to hold the chopsticks, and has to remember all over again. I can't bring myself to interrupt her desperation and ask her if she's alright. Tosaka hasn't noticed. She's pretending not to notice and quietly eating her dinner. So am I. We all pretend not to notice anything wrong with Sakura and finish our meal in silence. I decided to clean up after dinner. Sakura tried to help, but I cruelly turned her away. It's obvious she can't help clean in her state, and I don't want Sakura to have to confront another routine that she can't do anymore, as she mentioned earlier.
いいから部屋に戻ってちゃんとあったかくして寝てろ。ほら、昼だってあんなに熱があったけど寝てたら引いたんだろ。なら今度だって。
I basically tell her that if she lies down and keeps her body from moving, she'll be able to move her fingers again. It doesn't make much sense even to me. Sakura bites her lip in anguish, looking away.
さくら、別にこれからずっとってわけじゃない。調子が悪い時に無理をしたら治るのが遅れるだけだ。さくらが悪いわけじゃないんだから、しばらくは甘えていていいんだぞ。
そんなことありません。私どこも悪くなんかないんです。熱だって下がってるし、ちゃんと昨日のことも覚えてるし、 先輩の顔だってわかります。私は今まで通りで失敗されるようなことなんかないから、そんな風に心配されなくてもちゃんと。
心配されなくても大丈夫か？バカ言うな。さくらがそうやって無理をするなら俺もはっきり言うぞ。夕食の準備に2時間もかけた。不注意で7回も食器を落とした。おまけに味付けだって失敗してた。塩加減はまるっきりできてないわ。胡椒は効きすぎだわ。さくらの料理とは思えない。張り切るのはいいけど結果が出ないようじゃ逆効果だろう。分かったか？さくらは元気なつもりでも小さなところで熱が残ってるんだよ。そうでもなきゃさくらがあんな失敗するもんか。言っとくけど俺は怒ってるからな。明日から厨房には立たせない。完全に治るまでは無理なんてさせないからおとなしく眠ってろ。
I don't wait for her to answer and lead her by the hand to her bedroom. Her footsteps are heavy, but I ignored them and took her to her room. Tosaka is waiting at the door. It's now 10 p.m. Time to go out on night patrol, even if it might be a waste of time.
早かったわね。で、さくらは？
一応寝かしつけてきた。なんだかんだ言っても疲れてたんだろうな。ベッドに横になった途端すぐ眠ってくれた。
She really is not doing too good anymore.
そう。じゃあ後のことはイリアとライダーに任せましょう。姿は見えないけど、ライダーは屋敷のどこかでさくらを警護してるだろうし。
As Tosaka says, Ryder is constantly protecting Sakura. She probably hasn't taken material form to avoid burdening Sakura.
おそらくあと数日も持つまい。
I recall the priest's words. As long as the Holy Grail war continues, the crust worms inside Sakura will keep eating her magical energy. In her state, it's dangerous to materialize her servant. Even if she does, Ryder won't be able to fight. Ryder must be standing guard in spirit form, with that in mind.
暗い顔ね。何か言いたいことでもあるの？
Something I want to say. That's a dumb question. Of course there is.
遠坂、今晩のうちに造剣を倒せないか？
We can't afford to drag this out much longer. Sakura grows weaker every day. If the priest is to be believed, she could die tomorrow.
無理よ。今の私たちじゃ相手にならない。焦るのもわかるけど、さくらを助けたいのなら今は我慢なさい。私たちが倒れたらそれこそさくらは助からないわ。
今はまだ戦わない。ああ、それはわかる。けどそれ
巡回の意味がないって言いたいの？シロ、私たちは造剣さえ倒せればいいの？違うでしょ？聖杯戦争に巻き込まれて無関係な人間が死ぬことが許せないんじゃなかったの？
She's right. I know that. I do. There's a purpose to these patrols. We'll have to flee if we run into the enemy, but we have to do whatever we can to prevent more people from falling victim like they did last night. But what exactly did I swear to protect again?
シロ、ちょっと大丈夫？エミヤ君。
いや、少しめまいがしただけだ。それよりすまん遠坂、今のは考えなしだった。
いいわ、別に謝らなくても。さくらも危ないけど、あなただって疲れてるんだもの。本当はね、今日の投影は3日に分けて習得してもらうはずだったのよ。それを今日だけで成功させるぐらい頑張ったんだから、今すぐ戦いたいって気持ちはわかるし。
I learned how to use projection today?
どうしたの？何かおかしなこと言った？私。
いや、今日の鍛錬はきつくて耐えるのに精一杯だったから時間が湧かないみたいだ。
そうね、無我夢中って感じだったもの。けどその甲斐あって最後には1回だけ探検を投影できたじゃない。まあ今のところ成功率は1割以下だから、 これから要修行ってことだけど。
Well, that makes sense if it happened while I was in a trance. My sense of time must have gone numb from concentrating so hard. It felt like evening came before I even knew it. By the time I notice that something's wrong, we've already gone into town. Tosaka must have noticed it too, because she's quietly trying to sense something. The view is familiar. The town is dark and quiet after 10 p.m. There's nobody on the streets and no sound at all. It's a silent night that I've grown used to seeing since the Holy Grail War started. But it's...
静かね。
Tosaka whispers next to me. Yes. It's quiet here. For the last few days, the town has become as quiet as ruins, sinking into a still slumber once night falls. And yet, the silence tonight is beyond anything I've experienced so far.
ねえ、あっち側って昨日もああだっけ？家の明かりはおろか、街灯まで真っ暗だけど。
Tosaka is squinting in the direction of Ryudo Temple. It's a part of town on the opposite side of Shinto, just short of the edge of the city. The streets there are completely dark. From here, it's like staring into a black wall.
行こう。
That's all I say as we begin walking toward the darkened streets. Tosaka remains silent. It's probably the obvious choice for her, too. We both know what's happening there. It's a contradiction. We know exactly what we'll find if we go there, and yet we go anyway, hoping we're completely wrong. I'm guessing it's Zoken. Oh, or the shadow. What exactly did I feel when I laid eyes on it? This dark wall with nothing beyond it. The instant I step through it and see the town I know, I understand what's occurred. Ooh. The town is too quiet. Sleeping isn't enough to describe it. This is a complete void without any sign of human life. It's the utter stillness of death, not slumber, when nothing is alive anymore. I feel dizzy. The town hasn't changed. Around us, 50 or so houses are as black as night, looking exactly the same. There's no signs of their doors being forced. Nothing broke any windows to get in. Of course, no crane peeled off the walls and roofs to get at what's inside. In the same way, the presence of over 100 residents is simply absent.
エミヤ君、そこの家入ってみましょう。
Tosaka puts on some gloves and breaks into a nearby house. We pass by the nameplate. We open the front door. We walk down the hall. We explore the first floor, check the second floor, and find absolutely nothing and leave.
停電している家にいた人は
Tosaka tells me that they're gone. The town looks as it always does at night. The buildings are completely intact, and there aren't any dead bodies. It's perfectly clean, and nobody will notice anything off once dawn breaks. And yet... it looked even more barren than back then. We checked a few more houses, but our findings were exactly the same. There was no damage to any of the buildings, and no people inside. All they left behind were some traces of magical energy that made my chest ache. On every single building, road, and patch of ground, we found dark traces of something stuck to them that keeps its shape and color even now. We knew even without saying anything that it was the cause of this pristine tragedy. I feel dizzy. I'm irritatingly nauseous. Corpses without bodies. Bleeding without blood. An uninhabited neighborhood devoured by shadow. While I walk through it all, on edge, a completely unrelated image comes to mind for some reason. But it isn't unrelated. It can't be if I'm thinking of it here. Stop. Remember, remember. You know this presence, this scent. You did before, too. What did you imagine the first time you laid eyes on that abomination? Don't notice it. It's the same. No, something even heavier attacked everyone here. It's not true. It was the same. Why did you imagine what you saw? Back then. Because I have no proof. I have no reason. I have no motive. I have no evidence. It doesn't look like anyone. It shouldn't be true. It can't be true. I must not acknowledge it. But the more I think,
もし私が悪い人になったら
I don't have any proof at all, but my mind tells me this hunch is true. I know it is because that sensation was
やめろ。バカなことは考えるな。
too similar to my nightmares of...
シロ、どうしたの？急に立ち止まって。まだ他に気になることでも？
I shake my head and get rid of the dizziness. I must have gotten a whiff of the scent of the shadow left behind.
いや、吐き気がするだけだ。俺のことはいいから話を続けてくれ、父さんが。
本当？参ったわね。向上したシロの大魔力でもあいつの残滓に当てられちゃうんだ。まああれだけの魔力の塊なんだから当然といえば当然か。そうでもなければ町を食うなんてできないものね。
いや、体力がなくなったとかそういうんじゃない。単に気持ちが悪くなっただけで奪われたものはないと思う。
Tosaka seems to accept that. More importantly, we need to confirm what happened here.
で、一体何が起きたんだ、あそこで。
まあ今までと同じ食事でしょうね。ただ規模が段違いになっただけ。町中に残った後からして一軒一軒訪ねていったなんてことじゃなかったはずよ。あれは津波みたいにあの一帯に覆いかぶさってそのまま地面に溶けていった。よっぽど空腹だったのか一口で食事を済ませたかったんでしょう。けど無機物はお口に合わないみたいね。生きていないものは通り抜けて有機物だけを残らず消化していった。救いがあるとしたら一瞬で消えたことか。痛みも恐怖も感じる時間なんてなかったでしょう。
A bounded field of dissolution. Tosaka explains that the bounded field Ryder deployed at the school was like magecraft with an instantaneous and powerful effect.
問題はそれだけの魔術の発動にもかかわらず魔力を感知できなかったってことよ。あれがあの影の仕業だって言うんならあいつにとってあれは魔術じゃなくただの挙動に過ぎないことになる。要するにあれだけ広範囲の妖怪も黒い影にとっては寝返りみたいなものだってこと。
I see. But it's over now. The shadow disappeared somewhere once it satisfied its hunger, and we have no reason to pursue it now. Our patrols have lost their purpose. There were new victims despite our efforts, and we can't even detect the shadow who's the key culprit. Whether it was the shadow or Zoken, I thought we might be able to get a read on their movements and run to the scene to intervene. But that's lost its meaning now. We don't have any way to track the shadow, and more than that,
分かってはいたことだけどあいつ日に日に成長してるわ。このペースでいけば次に出た時は手をつけられない怪
the
物
way
に
it
なっ
keeps
ているでしょう
devouring
ね。
more and more people. Right now, we don't have any chance of winning. Complete silence. They were not the only ones here to appreciate the loss of life and ruin of prosperity. No, that expression was not quite accurate. The boy and girl still showed an admirable will to fight, and they clearly did not appreciate what they found. Only one who was no longer human would delight in this tragedy.
いやいや、加減を知らんのも困りものだ。よかれと思い放任してきたが、俺はそろそろ刈り取らねばならんかの。
The old man cackles. He blends into the shadows as he roams the uninhabited town, White Skull in tow. He is looking at the boy and girl. The old man pleasantly watches his enemies. He has no hostile intent. How could he hate something that is hardly even a foe to him anymore? To the old man, they are no different than from pebbles by the wayside. But the White Skull thinks differently. To him, a threat is a threat no matter how small. Any obstacle should be removed on the spot, even if they are beyond his own powers to defeat. The man who is summoned as assassin acts strictly according to that unwritten law.
この場で殺しても良いのでは
He inquires of his lord. The boy and girl are highly vulnerable as they walk through the ghost town. How can they be so defenseless in this land of death? The skull can only see them as sick individuals with a wish for death. Thus, one might even consider it a mercy to end them here. And yet...
いや、それはいささかもったいない。ここまで生かしておいたのだ。ここで終わらせては芸がなかろう。
The old man has no mercy. He is rotten to the core, having lived over 500 years and lost his humanity in all but shape.
例えばこういう筋書きはどうかな、アサシ。ここに生贄がおる。人の世に疎まれ憎まれ、呪われ続けた哀れな肉だ。この肉はな、けなげにも世界を嫌おうとせん。ただ一人でも自分の味方をする者がいる限り、その味方が住む世界を嫌わぬよう努めておる。いやはや愛欲とはかくも尊く強力なものらしい。肉は何をされようと人の世を憎みきれん。憎めばその味方を否定することになると、懸命に自らの泥を抑え込んでおる。故に肉には何をしても効果はないのだ。だがその唯一の味方に否定されたとしたらどうなるのか。もとより世の全てに否定されたものだ。唯一信じた希望に裏切られたとあれば、もはや歯止めとなる道徳など存在しまい。
では魔術師殿はあの少年に最後の一押しをさせたいと。
さよう、幕引きはあやつにこそふさわしかろう。予想外の成長ではあったが、あそこまで持たせてくれたのだ。ならば息の根を止める喜びは譲ってやらねばなるまいて。
He chuckles in delight. Sadism and satisfaction color his mirth. Enamored with his own ingenious suggestion, his chattering laugh makes him seem like a skull bobbing in the wind. Ugh. Fucking creature disgusts me. The hell was that? In the end, we got home before midnight. We decided there wasn't any point in wasting our stamina where there was nothing else to do. My feet feel heavy. The physical stress of training all day must be catching up with me. My body feels like lead, my eyelids might droop closed at any moment. I'm sleepy. Maybe my mind's worse off than my body. I want to sleep so badly I might just curl up on the floor in this hallway.
おかえりなさい。街の様子はどうだった？リン。
Ilya was waiting for us in the living room. Sakura isn't here. Of course not. Sakura's... No. Sakura should be sleeping in her room right now.
やられた後だった。それよりさくらは？
何もなかったわ。ちゃんとベッドで眠ってるし、起きた様子もないみたいね。ライダーを刺激してない分、魔力に余裕があるから調子いいんだと思うわ。
そう。まあそれでも一応警戒して。あの子次に暴走したら後がないから。
Doesn't seem like Tosaka's any worse off after seeing that ghost town.
私は疲れたから寝るけど、イリアはどうする？
私も休むわ。明日は製鉄でしょ。よく睡眠をとっておかないと失敗しかねないから。
Ilya bids us good night and goes off to the tatami room.
じゃあ今日はこれでお開きね。シロも休みなさい。気づいてないようだけど顔真っ青よ。
My body feels heavy. I do manage to roll out my futon even through my brain fog thanks to daily muscle memory. Hold on, I just gotta do something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Alright, body feels heavy. Managed to roll out the futon even though my brain fog thanks to daily muscle memory. I do manage to roll out my futon even through my brain fog thanks to daily muscle memory. Okay. I collapse into bed. When I roll onto my back and look up at the ceiling, I make a little time to think. I try to think with my exhausted brain. I think about my left arm. About loosening the shroud today. After experiencing unbearable agony and terror last night, I easily overcame it in a day. It ended so easily. The pain and fear might well have never existed. If I think seriously about what that means, I know the answer. I think about Ilya. She told me that she couldn't live with me. She said it would be nice, but that it couldn't happen. Because she doesn't have long to live. She told me something that anyone would know. I think about Sakura. Her life is becoming more confined with each passing day. Because the crest worms are feeding on her body and she doesn't have enough magical energy. It isn't her fault. It isn't Sakura's fault that her body is this way. All I can do for her is share my magical energy. If I give her some blood and supply her with enough power, she should hold together. I close my eyes. Ilya said that we were all beyond saving. There's only one choice to make. I made it long ago.
先輩帰ってきたんですか？
I hear a voice from the hallway.
起きてる。入ってきてくれ、さくら。
I get up. Even if my head isn't working right, I wanted to see Sakura.
はい失礼しますね。ごめんなさい。物音がしたものだから起きてきちゃいました。先輩におやすみなさいって言っていなかったから。
Sakura's her usual self. She's introverted, thoughtful, and always holds in what she wants to say. But she's still the girl who tries to laugh and means so much to me. Over the last year, she's become so stunningly beautiful that now I want to embrace her anytime we're alone together. She's the person I promised to protect forever.
要件はそれだけなんです。先輩のおかげで体の調子もいいし、今夜はよく眠れそうだから心配いりませんよって伝えたくて。
Sakura's her usual self. Of course she is. Why wouldn't she be? She couldn't possibly be the Sakura that came on to me that one night.
先輩、やっぱりお邪魔でした。なんかすごく眠そうというか、疲れてるように見えるんですけど。
さくら、ちゃんと眠ってたか？
But I still voice my anxiety. My tired mind can't organize its thoughts.
はい、ぐっすり眠ってました。また怖い夢を見ましたけど、寝つくまで先輩がいてくれたから我慢できました。
Scary dreams. I know I shouldn't ask what they were. I say nothing and reach for her long hair.
先輩、
さくら、こっち。
My hand falls from her hair to her shoulder and I bring her in close.
先輩、私。
さくらは嫌か？
I whisper into her ear as I hug her. Sakura doesn't resist bearing her head into my chest.
いえ、すごく嬉しいです。
She lets herself relax and snuggles against me. Then I hug her very tightly. I can't control myself. I've always wanted to do this with her. There's been so many times I wanted to hug Sakura until I pass out. So I do. Sakura's voice doesn't reach my brain. All I hear is my ragged breathing. It's Sakura who wants me, who needs me. But before I know it, I'm the one who's being satisfied. I lose track of time. I try to keep watching this nightmare until morning, but the power soon goes out of my body. Or goes out in my body. I start to fall asleep holding Sakura's hand. Savoring her body heat through my hands, I fall into a deep sleep. Then the rational part of me speaks. My ecstatic brain recovers its calm in the abyss of sleep. What will happen if you do this? By drowning yourself in Sakura, maybe you're decisively admitting that your fears are justified. I'm having scary dreams again. Something creeps along the road. Something scary that kills people with each step it takes. I watch it go from a place slightly behind it. I don't want to watch, but I can't turn away. It's a scary dream. A nightmare that I'll have to keep watching over and over. But if I'm being honest, I've started to feel slight closeness to it. I was afraid at first, but I'm used to seeing it now. Above all, this child doesn't have a bad heart. It just eats in a different way than we do. It's a lot like me.
暇そうだね、彼女。どう？一緒に遊ぶ？気分が悪いのかい、お嬢さん。それなら、そうだ。なんだよ、何黙ってんだよ、あんた。そっちだってそういうつもりでついてきたんだろうが。
Tonight is the same. Why do they all come up to it? Maybe it has something that draws men in. No matter how many people it kills, no matter how many days this goes on, all it needs to draw in food is to walk around at night. It eats. At first it ate in a rush, but it's gotten the hang of this. There's no need to hurry. Once they're pulled in by their feet, it's over. It eats up their heart and mind without leaving a single drop. Giggle and sing, go, go. It's in a good mood tonight. Even though it's never shown any emotion before now, it's giddy tonight. That makes me feel closer to it too. I'm very happy tonight. After all, it's the first time. The first time Senpai sought me out himself. Yeah. So there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. I'll still have these scary dreams, but they're no problem at all. The world seems so beautiful and kind because Senpai is looking at me. So I start to think that even this bad dream could go on a little longer, and I set out in search of my next meal. Unfortunately,
精が出るな。今夜に限っていつもの倍か。
I run into someone who's even scarier than this dream. I run away. The thing has never been afraid of anything before, but it flees in terror from this man. Oh, Gilgamesh. Golden hair and red eyes. He smells like me. I've seen him before once.
今のうちに死んでおけお娘。馴染んでしまえば死ぬこともできなくなるぞ。
Is that what he was telling her in the beginning? He's the golden servant who warned me to kill myself. I run. From what? I run. From whom? I run. Why? My dream won't end. The thing looks so pitiful as it panics and runs into an alleyway. It's all over for it now.
聖杯の出来損ないを期待していたが、まさかあれに届くほど完成するとはな。惜しいといえば惜しいのだな。選別は俺の手で行う。死にゆく前に適合しすぎた己が身を呪うがいい。
In an instant, countless blades stabbed the thing. Huh? That's weird. It hurts. She's the one who got stabbed, so why am I in pain when I'm watching from here? She's the one who's dying, so why am I on the ground? I'm the one who's dreaming, so why? Why is my body cut to ribbons? Ouch. I'm in a dream, but it hurts, Senpai. Something's spilling out of my stomach. I must look so pathetic. I try to put the squishy things back inside, but my hands are playing somewhere else. My feet. I have feet, but the body they're attached to is dangling around. When I try to say something, it hurts like I've been struck by lightning. But I can't move, so I can't get away. Why am I...
まだ息があるのか。息汚いな、娘。
He has no mercy. The golden man snaps a finger, and a blade bigger than my own body chops my head off. A nightmare. This is a nightmare. It's just like the dreams I've had so far. It isn't really happening. Once I open my eyes, I'll be back in Senpai's house. See? I'm about to wake up. Because it hurts so much. It hurts so much I want to die, so unless I wake up, I really will. But I can't wake up. I can't wake up from this dream. Help. Help, it hurts. Help, help. I need to hurry and wake up or else it'll take me with it. But I can't wake up. I can't wake up from this dream. This dream. I can't get out of this dream, Senpai. And then the woman falls. She sprawls on the ground like an insect pinned to a museum plaque, her entire body skewered by noble phantasms. The woman is still conscious. Her life is far beyond saving, but she doesn't know when to quit, and she keeps trying to move her limbs.
まだ息があるのか。息汚いな、娘。
He hands down her death sentence with disdain. The Golden Man, the heroic spirit named Gilgamesh, mercilessly lets the final stroke fall.
死にたくない。やっと先輩が私を見てくれたのに、もっと触れて欲しかったのに。
The woman must not be seeing anything anymore. As if in a trance, she speaks a mundane wish in her final moments. Finally. Just when she'd finally grabbed hold of a small sliver of happiness, reaching for that shred of cloth.
やだ、死にたくない、死にたくない。だって今死んでしまったら先輩は姉さん。
それが目障りだ。俺の手を煩わせるな。
The executioner's sword falls. The dream is over. The woman's mind sinks into a pool of blood and disappears into the dirty alley floor, never to wake again. By the time he turns around, it's too late. Oh, well. Bye, Gil! Ooh. That's unfortunate. It consumes him from his feet. There's no escape. Because he's already... Oh. It takes a while longer than usual. It hurts.
少ないから
Oh.
治らないんだ。
She starts walking. Her stomach is growling. The only thought that drives her is hunger. Even the king of heroes worth hundreds of thousands of souls isn't enough to sate her?
足りないこんなんじゃ足りない
She cries out as if in a fever dream. But this is no dream. It's the first time she goes into the breeding cage on her own. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, would have been really nice to have Gil around a little bit longer. But Jesus fucking Christ. He just goes out like that? Oh my god. But I mean, yeah, in case it wasn't fucking obvious enough, that's pretty hard fucking confirmation that Sakura is the Shadow. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I can only imagine what Zoken's gonna make Shiro do to push Sakura over the edge. I mean, not that she isn't basically lost already. Oh man. Alright, well, I'll end the episode off here for today, and the next one, I guess shit's gonna hit the fan even more, so I'll see you all then. Bye.